Okay, now we're going to talk about equivalent ratios. As we build a ratio table, we can make equivalent ratios. That's just like making an equivalent fraction. So let's start with something that we know, and let's say the ratio is a 1:2 ratio. Don't forget that we can write our ratio more than one way. We can write it as a 1:2 ratio using a colon, or we can write it as a fraction of 1:2. So we have three ways. Now, when we look at our 1:2 ratio, we want to set it up like a fraction, and actually we're going to build this table. This line right here says equal to. We're going to use a rainbow effect to show you that we're going to use a scale factor to build this ratio. In other words, we're building it up. We're going to scale up. To scale up means that we're going to multiply by. So we're going to start at the very beginning. We're going to start with times 2. So if I multiply by 2 on the top and I multiply by 2 on the bottom, the outcome is an equivalent ratio of 2:4. And we know that that is true because we can reduce it down and get to 1:2. Now I want to build it up again, so I'm just going to rainbow over here and say, what if I multiply by 3 on the top and I multiply by 3 on the bottom? I would then get a ratio of 3:6. And all of these are equivalent. Now notice that every time I build this table, I don't go to the neighbor next door, but I go back to the very beginning. This beginning ratio, which is reduced, is known as my base ratio. We cannot build this table of equivalent ratios without the base ratio. So let's continue to build. We're going to say multiply by 4. Multiply by 4. And we get an equivalent ratio of 4:8. Now I'm going to do a little page break. That means I'm going to jump to something bigger. I'm not going in consecutive order. Consecutive meaning times 2, times 3, times 4. My next one would be times 5. I'm actually going to jump in my table to something much bigger. I want to jump all the way over here, and I'm looking for the number 22. And what the ratio would be if I had a 22 on the top, what would be the ratio match to the bottom? So I'm thinking, what am I multiplying by 1 to get to 22? That answer would be 22. So if I multiply by 22 on the top, I multiply by 22 on the bottom, and what is 2 times 22? We would get 44 as a missing number. So by building this equivalent ratio table, we're able to write equivalent ratios that build up, and we're actually scaling up, and we can also determine what a missing top or bottom ratio would be as well. So we're going to give that a try on Tuesday when you come back to class.